Well, good morning. It's lovely to see you this morning. Special day today, Advent Sunday. Called Advent Sunday because it is the first of 4 Sundays leading up to Christmas Day, which this year is also on a Sunday. Strange year it is this year. But we have 4 Sundays now, and then a week to wait before the big day. Advent. Advent simply means it's coming. He's coming. It just means coming. And it was a word used in the Roman world for the coming of the emperor on a state visit. They would get ready for the advent of the emperor or the advent of a general or someone with great ceremony, with great preparations to welcome this great person when they came to visit. There are great stories, aren't there, of places in Britain where in sort of Elizabethan times, I think, and even later, when the king or queen toured the country and visited places, there were great elaborate preparations made for the coming of the visit of the king or the queen. And this is the word Advent, coming, and it's the coming of Jesus in 2 senses. It's getting ready for the coming of Jesus the first time. And it seems that we have in our society turned November into Advent because most places have turned their lights on already, their Christmas lights on already. They don't wait for the beginning of Advent, they do it earlier. That's a commercial thing. They want people to spend more money in the shops, don't they? But it seems to get earlier and earlier, doesn't it? Preparing for celebrating the coming of Jesus, or celebrating, as most people do, the coming of Santa, Father Christmas. But it's celebrating a coming. He's coming. Get ready, he's coming. But the word Advent also in these 4 weeks before Christmas talks about Jesus coming back. There's so many prophecies in the Old Testament about the first coming of Jesus, and when you study them and look at all of them, and you only have to look at Matthew particularly, almost every page there is something that Matthew says is for a fulfillment of something that was prophesied in the Old Testament. And if you look at the whole life of Jesus, there's so many very, very specific words in the Old Testament, sentences in the Old Testament that were fulfilled literally. And it's only when you look at the life of Jesus and compare it to the Old Testament that many people have said, well, the Old Testament can't have been written before Jesus came because it's too exact. But of course we know it was written before Jesus came. And just as accurately as those predictions about the first coming of Jesus came to be exactly at the right moment, so it will be with the second coming of Jesus. There are sentences written in the Old Testament and in the New Testament about the coming of Jesus, and they will be perfectly fulfilled. Now, there is debate about the order, just as there was debate about the order of things when the Messiah came. And indeed, there were some people who thought some of the verses could not apply to the Messiah because they could not perceive this great one sent from God suffering in any kind of way. And we know that the prophecies about Jesus came true over 33 years. So the prophecies about the second coming of Jesus may not all happen in one instant. There may be, and I believe that is true, there will be a period of time during which the prophecies about the second coming of Jesus will happen. And it's because we don't know the exact order that there is some confusion, because they seem to be talking sometimes about different events. They seem not to marry up, but I think that's because there's going to be a sequence of events when Jesus comes. But enough of that. I want to focus on just one verse, really. It's in Acts 1:11. It says, when Jesus was being taken up into heaven in the clouds. You remember at his ascension, what's called his ascension, which just means he's going up back into heaven. These two men stood in white robes and said, "Men of Galilee, why do you stand looking into heaven? This Jesus, who was taken up from you into heaven, will come in the same way as you saw him go into heaven." There is no doubt that Jesus is coming again. He is coming back. He himself said it. For example, in Mark 13, verse 26, "And they will see the Son of Man coming in clouds with great power and glory." He is coming back. He is coming back. There's lots of passages that talk about it. So as you, this Advent, prepare for the coming of Jesus, maybe you'll have an Advent calendar starting on the 1st of December, counting down the days to Christmas Day. As you prepare for celebrating Christmas in whatever way you do that, simply or elaborately, whatever way, as you prepare, think about the preparations going on in heaven for the second coming of Jesus. Because everything is ready, I'm sure. Everything is ready. It's just the timing. It's just the wait for the go, the signal from the Father that says, "Off you go, my son. Go back and sort it all out." He's coming back. Absolutely, definitely, certainly, no doubt about it. I get excited when I think about it. And when I read passages that talk about Jesus coming, that it will be sudden, it will be unexpected, it will be glorious, it will be magnificent. As there were angels at his first coming, there will be angels at his second coming. There will be the trumpet, there will be the announcement. Oh, it will be a fantastic time, but it will mean that time has run out for people to turn to Jesus. It brings an urgency to our attempts to tell other people how much Jesus has done for them and how much God loves them. So much that when the first coming happened, God sent his Son. And the second coming will happen when God sends his Son. That's my thought for the day. Happy Advent Sunday. Whatever you're doing today, I hope you will be greatly blessed. And I'll see you again tomorrow. Bye-bye.